Life is shorter than you think. The average life expectancy of this world is 72 years old, but how much of that time is actually yours? On average, we spend 28 years sleeping, plus 7 years trying to fall asleep. A solid 15 years working, plus a few years more if you like to do overtime. 1 year travel to and from work, 4 years eating and drinking, 2.5 years will be spent on education up until high school. We'll be spending 1 year cleaning and a third of a year just using the toilet. And that's majority of your life gone. 83% to be precise. That means we only have around 17% of our life to live. That's around 12 years, 144 months, 4,300 days left to live, to do whatever we want to do in life, not relating to these mandatory things. And I don't know about you, but for me, that is incredibly short. And in order to not waste your life, the most important thing to understand is really how much time we actually have, or actually how little time we actually have to actually live. It's important to realize that we have very limited time on this earth. One day we will not be here anymore, and therefore the time that we choose to spend today, this week, this month, this year really matters. And if you're watching this and truly understand the message that I'm trying to convey, you already are aware of something that most people are not, because most people do not think about life this way. Because regardless of what you do, the one thing that doesn't stop is time, and it is the only one thing that we cannot get back. If you make some bad financial decisions, you can recover from it. You can start working hard, making more money, saving more, and gaining that money back. If you lose a very good relationships in your life, you can always find new relationships. Sure, it may not be the same, but you can always find another one. But time, it is the only one thing in life that we can never get back. The 1 year of your life that you spend commuting to work, that time you will never get back. The 15 years of your life that you spend working in a job that you hate, you can never get that back. And I truly believe that once you understand how precious life is, it will change you forever. You no longer want to live life the same way, because you understand that the time that you spend on pointless arguments, gossiping, all the dramas, all the angers, those are completely pointless, and you choose to do them purposely less and less. And automatically, once you realize how little time we have on this earth, not only that you will stop doing certain things, it might make you want to do certain things differently. Remember the graph at the beginning of the video that we all spend 15 years at work? And if we need to do that anyway, you might as well spend those time working with people that you respect, people you can learn a lot from, and doing things that you enjoy most of the days. I have been in many job roles, and although I understand that no job is perfect, there are going to be days that you enjoy the work, there are going to be the aspects of the job that you don't enjoy, but I don't think it's unreasonable to think that there are certain jobs out there that we can enjoy going to work most days, enjoy working with most of the people there, and enjoy most of the things that we do in that job. Instead of gossiping, you might just want to have that deep conversation so that you can have better connection with the people that you're speaking to. Instead of talking down about life, you might choose or decide to fight for the life you want instead, because of that one understanding that life is so short. If you need to spend time on social media, instead of just spending time consuming, wouldn't it be better to do something more productive, to build that business on the side that you've always wanted to do, to produce rather than consume? And speaking of the phones, do you remember the graph that I showed you at the beginning of the video? Well, that doesn't include the time that we spend on our phones. On average, we spend around 4 hours every single day on our phones. That's around 12 years of our life, which again doesn't leave much room left to live, is it? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you need to stop using your phone or social media completely, because I truly believe that at the end of the day, and what we decide to do with our lives should all depend on how we want our life to be. What is your vision for life? What is your purpose for life? And your vision and purpose for life is not going to be the same as everyone else. According to the book, The 5 Regrets of the Dying, the number one regret that people have when they're in their deathbed is that I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. And in order to get there, it is important to understand what's true to yourself is. And once you understand what is true for you, then you can make sure that every single day you are committing to live in the alignment with your purpose. And I know for sure, because I've been there myself, that this true intentional living in alignment with your vision and purpose is not easy. It is something that I have been learning and something that I've been working on. But if this is something that resonates with you and something that you are also wanting to work on, then join the tribe by subscribing to this channel. Life is about choices, and every single decision that you made 10 years ago has brought you to this exact place that you are right now, to your present self today. And therefore, what you want to be in 10 years' time is heavily defined by what you are doing today at this present time. And therefore, it is so crucial to understand your vision and your purpose in life so that you know exactly where you need to go and what you need to do today. As someone who was raised by non-entrepreneurial parents, I used to think that my ultimate goal in life was to work for this big corporation, being in an executive level, making $500,000 in salaries every single year. But there was a shift a couple of years ago. I have become heavily obsessed with the idea of time. The time wasted, time we have spent or not spent with certain people doing certain activities. And one day it just hit me, what good would $500,000 do? If I have to work for a big corporation for 12 or 14 hours a day, fighting office politics, backstabbing my coworkers, which are not something that I am keen to do or good at, and I know that that would make me so incredibly unhappy. I came to realize that it's not just about how much money I make, but also about the sacrifices I have to make in order to make that money. Simply put, balancing the time given away and financial return has become very important to me. If you watched my previous video about how I plan my goals for the quarter, you'll see that my vision in life or my true purpose is really not just making as much money possible, but making enough money while giving myself more time to spend with the people that I love, pursuing activities that I enjoy, while having a positive influence to the world. Because I really truly don't think that we all need that much money. Of course, we need enough, but enough doesn't always have to be 7 figures or 8 figures. But again, that's just me. That's just the vision that I have for myself, but that could be different for you. So although I choose to sit here in front of the camera because I feel like this is fulfilling my life vision, for you at this very minute, there might be something else that you can do or something else that you can pursue in order to work towards that vision of yours. You know yourself better than everyone else, so the only person that you should listen to is you and not others. But whatever it is important to understand that to not waste your life, you have to do it. You have to take the actions. But I can almost guarantee you that what I've said so far is not something new. It's not something that you didn't know before. You already know that to live a purposeful life and not to waste your life, you have to listen to your guts, follow your intuitions and your dreams. You do know that to not waste your life, you have to at least work in the job that you don't hate. You do know to not waste your life, you need to stop consuming rubbish on social media. And you already know to not waste your life, you need to stop letting everyone else and the society define who you are, defining your identity and what you want to do with your life. These things I know that you know already. This is something that most people know, because most of the time there are 2 things that stop you from taking actions. And I know this because these are something that that I suffered myself and something that I am continuously working on. And the first thing that stops you from taking action is fear. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself, by Franklin Roosevelt. When you want to follow your dreams, listen to your intuitions, that's when you most experience fear. Fear of failing, fear of being judged, fear of actually succeeding, fear of the unknown, fear of putting yourself out there, fear of not being perfect immediately. These are some of the common fears that people have. Not just you, everyone else has these fears. And I'm sure at one time in our lives, we have let fear stop us from taking actions before. For example, I want to become a YouTuber, but I'm not good on camera. I want to get in shape, but I don't have time to work out. I want to become an actress, but I don't think I can make it. I want to find my soulmate, but I'm so busy I don't have time to date. And what really has been helping me when I encounter fear and I want to approach fear in a very practical way really is to think about the worst case scenario. What's the worst that could happen? And then how I would deal with that particular worst case scenario. So for example, you may have already know that I recently bought a business, and of course it was such a big risk and there was so many fears involved, so I did this exercise. So in this case, the worst case scenario is I don't make any money from the business, and although the business was profitable before, somehow I just don't have enough skill to continue making it profitable. And how would I tackle that? How would I resolve this problem? Well, if I am aware that the business is going pear-shaped and I can't run it anymore, then I can sell the business and recoup my investment back. And another example is starting this YouTube channel. I had a YouTube channel before which wasn't really successful, and I wanted to start this one. And of course there was so many fears, and one of them was, what if no one watched it? What if I went on the same path that I did with my first YouTube channel? Well, if that was a worst case scenario, then I know that I've tried pivoting on YouTube and that didn't work. So maybe YouTube isn't for me, and all I would have wasted is some time. And when you write these down in a very practical thing, having a solution to every single worst case scenarios, you realize that nothing is ever the end of the world, and there's always a solution to everything. So the fear that you're having is just your body's natural response, but you don't have to listen to it. You don't have to let it stop you. And the second thing that stops us from taking actions to get closer to our goals, our visions, and our life purpose is discipline. And I'm probably going to make a separate video about discipline because it's such a big topic in itself. But what I find has been really working well for me is, instead of doing 1 year goals, I break down my goals into quarterly goals, monthly goals, and weekly goals. I implement a system to make sure that I check on them by doing daily check-ins and weekly check-ins. I really don't mean to scare you making this video, but I truly want you to realize how precious life is and how important it is for us to live the life true to ourselves, and how important it is to appreciate the time that we have and not just letting it slipping by our fingers by doing things that has no value and no meaning to us. And speaking of values, if you found any values in this video, I really appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in another video. Take care.